Hey, okay. So I want to say welcome. I'm Sam Kerrigan, and I'm the Executive Director for Fergus Falls Area Habitat for Humanity. And so I was telling my staff yesterday, I love ritual. I love it. So I grew up Catholic, lots of ritual. Then I joined the military for 4 years. A lot of ritual, right? When you join, there's ritual. When you die, there's ritual. When you change command, all this stuff. So the thing is, and why it's important is because ritual means something important is happening. It marks the milestones of your life. And so a significant effort went into building this house. But we didn't build it by ourselves. You didn't build it by yourself. We built it together. And so we're going to go through some of that, and we've got some gifts for you. And I'm happy that we're both arrived here. So I get to be the first one to say, welcome home.
A reading from John chapter 1. The true light which enlightens everyone was coming into the world. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory, glory as of the only Son of the Father, full of grace and truth. I don't know the exact date, but the other day there was this big, beautiful, vibrant, bright, full moon. And when I walked out of the church building, it was kind of late at night, it was dark out, and there was that moon hanging in the sky, and it seemed so appropriate right in the middle of this time of the year to help illuminate this season of light with even more light. We're surrounded by so much light during the Advent season, during these days, and to tell you the truth, I love it. I love all the lights, these lights that overwhelm the darkness that sets in way too early each day and way too deeply each day. This time of the year, those lights help to bring us joy. In John's Gospel, we heard this reading just a second ago, he writes about the true light coming into the world who enlightens everyone. All of these lights that we see during Advent and for Christmas are there to remind us about the true light, about Jesus, who is the Word who has become flesh for us. He's come so that we might have light, even in the midst of the darkness. He is the only Son of the Father who is full of grace and truth, who enlightens everyone. Well, just like there can be no darkness when the sun, S-U-N, is shining, so also the darkness of this world is scattered when the sun, S-O-N, shines around us. And Christ does shine. As we fill this season with light, it reminds us that the Son of God has come for our salvation. But there's another really important thing that happens when the sun shines. The sun shines, and it shines upon, amongst other things, upon the moon. And then the moon reflects that light that shines upon it so that the darkness is still scattered even when the sun is not shining directly. In John chapter 8, verse 12, Jesus says, I am the light of the world. But elsewhere in Matthew chapter 5, verse 14, Jesus says of his followers that they are the light of the world. He's the greater light, the sun who fills the world with his light. But those who follow him also reflect his light, kind of like the moon does when it fills the sky at night. I was here a couple of weeks ago with a group of homeschoolers that were taking a tour with Habitat. And I'm here today, and it has come a long ways, even just in those days. But amongst the things there's lights. There's light fixtures. It's really very nice. I see a lot of light in this place, and I'm not talking about those. I see a lot of light in this place as the abundance of Christ's light is reflected from those who worked on this house, those who built this place, those who shine just like Jesus shines. And now today this house shines. Our prayer today is that this house would always be a place of light for your family, as your family's love for one another reflects Christ's light that always scatters the darkness of this world. Often it is a dark world. We thank the Lord that Jesus shines. Let us pray. Lord God, protect and sustain the family that makes this house to be their home. May this home be a place of light, that the light of Christ may shine upon those who dwell here, and through them onto others as well. Fill their lives with joy and with peace. Through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Amen.
Yeah, we can go. Ben Shire was not able to be here, so
He's on his way home.
he is on his way.
He's
We'll
on
come-
his
we'll-
way.
We'll come back to him.
He wasn't prepared for a slippery ride, right?
We'll punt it over to Liz.
Thanks, Paul.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys come up, 'cause I have the pleasure of introducing our new homebuyer family. Hi, come on over. So Diona and her two daughters, this is Lauren and Ava. And Raylyn is the older sister who's not able to be here today. She lives in town, so she'll definitely have the benefit of being involved in relaxing on the couch, maybe a little snooze here or there in the flex room, and maybe a load of laundry or so. Hopefully, yeah. Possibly. So a story about Diona, she and I met 51 weeks ago. And she walked into the office for our 4 o'clock meeting. It was the last day of school, right before Christmas vacation. And she had her Grinch costume on, because she hadn't had time to go home to change, but she was not going to miss the meeting that we had set up, because she knew she was gonna have a little spare time over the holidays to get her application done. And so, on December 22nd is the date that we met, and ironically, December 22nd, next week on Thursday, is the day that Diona will sign her mortgage paperwork to buy this home. So, that, I literally went back and looked at the date, and I'm like, this is amazing. So, when I heard Diona's story, and she and I talked a lot that night, I think it was a couple hours, and a couple Kleenexes into the story, perseverance in Diona's life and in her family's life, in her personal life, in her education, in her journey as a teacher and an educator to other children, other people's children, and as a parent to her family, perseverance, and this is what she has. And girls, be proud of your mom and what she's done and worked just with us the last year to be here today and be able to provide this home for you, but what she's done to get you guys even from Montana to Fergus Falls. Yep, very enriching. I'm proud of your courage and your commitment. I really appreciate that you trusted us to help you build your home. The other thing I learned about Diona is that she has this amazing trust in the master plan for her. And I've seen it every day from her. And it gives me a lot of strength and a lot of optimism for her future. So this house is a gift of opportunity from the community, people who helped build it, people who helped finance it, people, your family and friends who supported you in the journey and encouraged you to walk through the door to come to that meeting. So thank you for trusting in us. Thank you for being with us this last year. You're stuck with us forever now. You're part of the family. And so welcome home, Osterman Oppies. And who's next?
We all are.
We are.
But yeah, well, let's present the,
Oh.
let's back up 1 second. And we'll let Ben share.
All right, we'll do that.
Yeah. Ben, come up in front of us. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Great to be with you. Just a couple quick words on behalf of the entire city of Fergus Falls. Just want to say thank you to everyone at Habitat for Humanity for all you do. I think the real soul of a community is in those who behind the scenes, not always in the spotlight, who are helping other people in the community. That's the real soul of a community, and nobody embodies that better than Habitat for Humanity. All the work that you do. And so I just want to say, personally and on behalf of the entire city, thank you for the work that you do to make the lives of the people in this community better. It's a real pleasure to be here with you today, to see the work that so many are doing to make others' lives better. So, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Let's see, Liz and Gail.
Gail couldn't be here, she's stuck up in Fargo, so
Oh,
Sharon's
no.
gonna help me.
The snow has got her. stuck
Yes,
up
the
there.
snow has got her.
Okay,
Yep.
Ben,
Yep.
or no, Chuck.
So we're gonna,
Chuck.
yep, so we'll go ahead and do these and then follow up with the, yeah.
Yeah, let's do these, let's do the games.
Do the first one,
Yeah,
wanna do?
yeah, you
Quilts
do the
first?
quilts
Yeah.
first, yeah.
All right, so, may your house always be filled with warmth and comfort, heated floors, and some quilts here made with love. So the first quilt is for Diona. It was donated through Federated Church and their quilting group there. And you wanna open it? Yeah, they're absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, there you go. I'm gonna let you guys keep hanging on to that one, okay? And then Lauren has a gift. Dale Brennan, who's on our family selection committee, is a quilter. Shared her treasures and talents with our family. And so Lauren, Dale made this for you. And there's some orange on it. Do you see some orange, Lauren? Yeah. Lots of kind words on there. So this is gonna be your quilt, Lauren. You can have it in your room. Do it. Say that again.
It's so nice and fuzzy.
Oh, yeah.
That's big.
All right.
Just little, but that's.
And then Ava. Also Gail prepared this for Ava and for your corner room. And then Raylyn, when she comes to crash on the couch, she also has a quilt that Gail had made for her, so. For Raylyn.
So beautiful.
Liz, you wanna turn this way?
Super. Well, with warmth, we want to bring light as well, and like Pastor Liskey said, the truest light that we can find is through God and His Son Jesus. And so, such an important piece to our build day every day is our devotion and prayer. And so we fill this house from when there's just sand on the ground all the way to now with constant prayer and God. So He's been through it all, and we want Him to be part of this house for you and your family, because it's just the best. Okay, so this is our Building on Faith Bible from Habitat for you to keep Him in your life. Mr. Chuck.
Come with a hammer.
Hammer to Bible, oh, it's a name.
Take a picture or whatever you need, but just remember, don't hit your finger.
Diona, you want to say a couple words?
Oh, sure.
We can come back to you as well if you'd like.
Oh, no, that's okay. Sorry, I wrote down notes, I didn't bring them, I forgot. Sorry. So I'm just kind of starting from scratch here. But one thing that struck me when Pastor was speaking was that, sorry, I'm the oldest of 7. And we moved a lot when I was little, but my parents always made wherever we were a home. And it just occurred to me that despite all we've been through as a family, the girls and I never had a doubt that we were at home because we were together. That's come back around since we've come back to Montana and to my parents' land and their homestead. And then but but this is like a forever home. So, my dad passed away at the end of January. And so he knew about this, he knew it was happening, so that's a good thing. But, so I just wanna know, I want everybody to know how grateful I am, and I have a list of people, but from everybody that financially donated to put their sweat, and I hope not any tears, but, maybe some blood. Yeah.
Dave just
Dave.
Dave just cut off his finger the other day.
To the people who brought lunches when we had the builds, to my LCA family, my school family, to my own family, and to my kids who are resilient and surviving. Okay, I won't look at Lauren anymore. Oh gosh, my mentor Shirley from Catholic Daughters, the bike family, everything we went through with them, and that they got to come, and just so you guys know, their names are all over in this house. They're written in the walls of these houses, or this house. So it's a super cool thing. Oh gosh, so sorry. To Chuck and Ben and Liz, thank you, stall, for the humor and the insight, the faith, and just that kind of thing. It's fine, it's gonna be okay. And from picking out different things about the house, what color do you like this? I'm like, I just whatever. So it's, we're just so grateful to see it finished. We haven't been at the house for a while, so it's a bit overwhelming and still a little bit unreal, but yeah, I just thank you for welcoming us home.
Sharon?
Our state regent, Mary Kufal from Moorhead, was unable to come today due to the weather, but she sends you her greetings, and the check is in the mail. Catholic Daughters is the largest women's organization in the world. We have had Habitat for Humanity as one of our national projects for many, many years. I can't remember when it started. But on the state level, the way that we raise money to get the grant for the Habitat homes is we hand out gummy bears in October. You probably have seen us at Service Food and at our church. There are 20-some courts in the state doing this project, and whatever monies are raised goes towards this grant of $10,000 for Habitat. And we have been, our local court, St. Cabrini, have been fortunate to have gotten 3 grants. We have three homes in Fergus Falls that we were able to give a $10,000 grant to. So we're just so very, very happy that we're able to do this for you, Diona, and your family.
Sharon, do you want to present the check this
Oh,
time?
yes, and Bonnie, one of our
Ceremony.
This makes it real.
This makes it in the military, we'd do something like this, we'd be shaking hands too, but so we don't need to do that. Thanks so much. You know, yeah, Megan Butinas was the last one, Catholic Daughters, and then we jumped in again, and so thank you so much. But people maybe don't know, Sharon is like one of the most dedicated volunteers out there. And so thank you, Sharon, and thank you.
Okay, well, the folks from Habitat for Humanity Minnesota couldn't come up because of the weather. They're down in the Twin Cities, so they sent me a message to read. They're the ones who organize the Habitat 500 bike ride, and their organization is kind of the overarching Habitat organization, guiding and providing support to all the habitats across the state. So that's the Habitat for Humanity Minnesota. So I'll read what Caitlin sent me here. It says, this is a message from Caitlin Myers. She works at Habitat for Humanity of Minnesota, which provides funding, training, and other support to the 25 local habitat organizations around the state, including Fergus Falls Habitat. Their office also coordinated the Habitat 500 bike ride, a bicycle ride that moves around the state while raising funds and awareness for Habitat for Humanity. And so that happened in Fergus Falls this year. We hosted it. Many of you know that. And so we had all sorts of riders come through. The Habitat 500 community was so excited to be back together in person in 2022 after 2 years of bike at home events and to be in the beautiful Fergus Falls area this past July. Riders enjoyed 3 days of biking, and many of them joined us for a day to work on Diona's home. The whole Fergus community was so welcoming to the ride. Diona's home is called the Bike Home and was supported both physically through the build and financially through donations to the Habitat 500. A total of $57,585 or $57,585 in 2022. So that's what was raised for this home through that bike ride. The Bike Home tradition started in 2006, and this is the 16th Bike Home dedication. Riders greatly enjoyed seeing and hearing updates on the home's progress this year and hearing from Diona herself during one of our programs this summer. Thank you all for being here to celebrate Diona's home dedication, and from the Habitat 500 community, congratulations to Diona and her family and the whole community who helped this home come together. So we'll present the check from the Habitat 500.
You went with straight 50?
Yep.
57.5. Hey, can I just say too, you know, that was the 30th and last Habitat 500. So the ride has been spun off as a separate 501c3. The ride's gonna be the Bike Build Home Ride, and they're still gonna support Habitat affiliates. And next year it's gonna be in La Crosse, Winona. So Paul and I did a couple of them, right? We did a 3-day, we did what, a 3-day, 1 day. And I was just talking to our new friend Dave the tall. Anyways, Dave, there, biker. We got to be biking with him, right? So it's still around, and it's a lot of fun. These bikers raised a lot of this. Now, a lot of this came, about half it came locally, but half it came from people that have no connection to us, other than they like to bike and they want to help Habitat and help people own their own home. So. Good thing.
Very cool. All right, thanks. Okay, who's next? Who's got a program on?
You are.
Show up. Okay. Too many notes, too many pieces of paper. What's that?
Where's your cello from?
I need a secretary. Dell, this next part has to do with you and all the other volunteers. We're just so, absolutely can't do what we have to do without all the volunteers out here. And I just mentioned, I look this way right away and I see our longest tenured volunteer, so I just love to recognize Dell. Dell's been doing it since we've been, what do you like to say?
Well, it's been at least 30 years
And we were
that
building
I've
with,
been at it.
and we built homes with what when you started?
Well, I know you're gonna ask me whether or not we use stone or wood.
Love you, Dell. So, so my role as volunteer coordinator is just so wonderful because I get to work with all these folks, a lot of them in this room, in so many different ways, and so we absolutely cannot thank them enough, the people who volunteer their time in just so many different ways. You know, whether that's out here on the build site as a builder, or preparing a meal for the people, or cleaning after it's all been built. There's just a huge variety of ways people help. Or Steve Geese, who provides our plans. Jesse Thorstedt doing some of the audio visual and pictures. Even just the people involved in this program. I've put together a program with volunteer speakers and people to be here. So none of this happens without the support of the community, and so it's just a great big huge thank you to everybody who's involved in our organization in some way. So I'd like to just say a couple specific thank yous. We invite groups to come out and build on the build site, and so this year we had Otter Tail Power was out here. Thank you, Otter Tail Power. The school district sent out a group to build. LCA, where Diona works, was out here building. Concordia College has come here with students for the past, 5-6 years. And so that's a really neat connection. So they came down with some students. Vector Windows provided people and all these windows. They donated all the windows for this house and that sliding door and that house right down there. So that's quite a gift. They've been a huge partner to us. We had a Women's Build Day here this year with a handful of women. Ben was leading that one, knows a little more about that. It sounded like a good time. Habitat 500 Build Day. That was during the bike ride. All the riders came and built on site here. I missed out on a fun day. It sounded like a really good day building on the site. So who else? Let's see. Fergus Falls Ministerial Group. So we had a Pastor's Build Day. We did that a couple last year and then this year. So it's good that they came. Say thank you to Trinity, a couple churches. Trinity Lutheran Church, who's been the sheetrock pro team is what we call them. We always make sure they come on during the sheetrock, and so Dave's a leader on that, and thankful for your championing our program. That's what it takes in a lot of these areas is champions, and we got so many of them. Calvary Free Lutheran Church, neighboring church right here, has been huge for us over the years. At this house, they helped do the insulation and poly. And they did that at that house down there. They've done it on every house we built along here. And then also helped host our 30th anniversary a year ago. So thank you to them. Fergus Falls Mowing Club came and mowed our lots, which is a huge thing too. It's one less thing for us to do. So I also want to recognize our board and committee members, many of them who are here, because they tackle so many things that are behind the scenes that we couldn't do without them. So we thank them as well. And just finally, the volunteer recap. We keep track of who's out here and how many hours. 125 different people got their hands on this house, and 2,100 hours was what they put into it. So thanks for your support in the community. Give it to Ben.
My name's Ben Ellison. I'm the Fund Development and Construction Coordinator, and I also have a list of a lot of people to thank. This is my first actual build from start to finish. I was hired last year, kind of around right before we closed on Casey's house. And I remember that dedication too, and I remember sitting there and just kind of thinking to myself, I was in a new role, I was in a new job, and I saw a room like this, and that's what sold me on Habitat. And that's why I'm still here, and I hope to be here for a while. Just the amazing support of the community and how they come together and support this mission and build homes for people who maybe home ownership wasn't a possibility for them. It's just the coolest thing. Like it's just awesome. And I also want to say something about Diona too. Diona is so much fun, honestly. She is so much fun. One of my favorite memories so far with Diona was on that Habitat 500 build day. we were kind of all, we did framing, for those of you that don't know. And we were kind of just putting all the walls together and we were gonna lift them all up. And me and a couple other people were like, oh, Diona should physically raise her first wall. And so we called Diona over and she starts lifting the wall and she just started crying. And I will never forget that. I will never forget that moment. It had such an impact on me, just how grateful you were, and it just showed what the community was doing as a whole. And it's honestly one of my favorite memories so far, and just being with Habitat in general. So I just wanted to share that because that was just awesome. Like I said, I got a lot of people to thank too, so I better get to it. So this was an ambitious year for us. The first year we were trying to build 2 homes at once. So it was a long 9 months, but it was fun and it was just an amazing experience. So first on my list, I want to thank the major and individual donors. Way too many people to thank on that list. Some of our major donors are the Dell Trust, who Matt McGovern's here today, the Vidine Charitable Trust, and then obviously the Catholic Daughters. Those are our major funders, and we just want to thank you just for what you're doing. This is not possible without that funding. I also wanted to make a note about some of the local businesses that pitched in different ways. Paul kind of started to talk about it a little bit, but there's a lot more in the world of fundraising than donating physical dollars. Our affiliate has so many what we call in-kind donations, where people donate materials, professional labor, you name it. So I want to recognize some of those businesses and services as well. Fergus Home and Hardware, Paul talked about you guys a little bit too. Steve is one of my best professional friends because he makes my life so easy. Steve does so much over at Fergus Home and Hardware. Like Paul said, he helps do the plans, the blueprints for the homes. We buy some lumber from them. He helps us with the shingling, with the garage door. His expertise essentially just goes so far, and so we want to thank you and Fergus Home and Hardware for all that you do. They also sponsored the Women's Build Day. They made it financially possible to put on. Also Steenerson Lumber, they've worked with us for years as well, so I want to thank them. We typically get our lumber packages, our framing packages from them. Builders First Source they worked with us, I think, for one of the first times this year. They helped us with drywall. Ottertail Power Company. Amy Hassling and Sarah Campion were supposed to be here. I don't think they're here though. But Ottertail Power is another big player in what we do here at Habitat as well. They have donated just so many things. They donate the heat pumps, the mini splits, the light fixtures. They've done that on 2 homes so far, and then these 2 homes as well. For those of you that don't know a lot about construction, that is huge. Like heat pumps, it's a lot. It's a lot of money. They also give us a grant every year too. And then Vector Windows, again, they donated all the windows, but also the installation. So they had a build day out here where they not only donated the windows, but they came in and installed them and showed us how to install them better as well. Certainty, they donated the siding for Diona's home, and they've also done it in years past as well. Roth Roofing out of Alexandria, they donated the labor for both homes for all the shingling. So that is huge too, because if anybody in here has shingled before, that really stinks and it's hard. So we're very thankful for them as well. Precise Carpentry, that's the Frustalls, they donated a day to install all the base trim. Slumberland donated a bed for Diona, so I want to thank them as well. And then I also want to highlight some of the subcontractors as well. So we can't build everything. You know, we obviously need certified plumbers, electricians, and people like that to come in. And so that's another way that we have support from the community. And a big one is Bob Nordick, who's in the back there. Bob has helped Habitat for I don't even know how many years. How many years have you been helping Habitat?
Oh, since back in the 90s sometime.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I think I've worked with 5 different directors.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, Bob and his 2 sons have helped us with a lot of our concrete work. They do a lot with the foundation, the driveways, the front porches, at least what I've seen. I'm sure he's done 100 other things over the years as well, but Bob plays a huge part in what we do as well. Nelson Plumbing, Bill Nelson and his brother Greg, they were the plumbers on this house. Hopefully Diona doesn't get to know them very well. But I just want to thank them as well. Ben Wolden Landscaping, he does all the landscaping on our homes. He's been doing it for several years. Advar Frustal, he was new this year. He did the taping and the texturing for the home. He was here, the taper kind of comes towards the end. And so by the time he got in here, he was kind of crunched on time. And he was here till midnight and beyond, several nights to get this project done. So I just wanted to thank him as well. And then Karen Zell and her painting team. I haven't seen Karen here yet, but
She won't be
here. Yeah, Karen brings in a team of painters every year, so that's awesome too. I also wanted to thank Habitat for Humanity of Minnesota as well, just for the Habitat 500, because that was a lot of fun. See at least one Habitat 500 shirt in here. That was a lot of fun. Going with that is Hillcrest Academy. Brad was supposed to be here, the president, but he was unable to make it because of the weather. But Hillcrest hosted all the riders and the volunteers and the staff over at the school. They were like the overnight lodging. So I just want to thank them for that as well. And then just the whole community, how we came together for that event as well. Anyone who had a place in that or a hand in that, I want to say thank you as well. A lot of service organizations, churches, would not have been possible without you guys. And then the last thing on my list is I want to highlight and thank one personal volunteer that came on when I was just first started here. Paul was deployed earlier this year, and so when he went overseas, I kind of stepped into his role a little bit, and it was very daunting for me. I had to, I was hired to be the fundraiser for Habitat, and then I have some construction experience, so I stepped into a construction planning role as well. But then when Paul left, I got in with the volunteers, and I was out at the build site every day. It's a very stressful time for me. I was wearing a lot of different hats. And this one specific volunteer just was here all the time. He knows his stuff, and he was just so fun to work with, and he made my life so much easier as well. So Roger, I want to ask you to come up here. We have a tradition at Habitat. We have a tradition. Stan, I don't know if you want to give us the history of the coin. I don't really know what that
This comes from the military. There's commander coins or challenge coins. And so someone like me that was in it for a long time, I got a whole table of them. And you get it if you do something significant, once again. A commander can give it to you. It's not an act of Congress, so you don't have to get it. You just, it's an impact award to say, this person did something good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is our highest honor.
It's our only honor.
It's our only honor. That's why I chose the word highest. So Roger, handshake. Thank you for all that you did.
Thank you.
That's all I got. I don't know who's next.
Did we mention the electrician by name?
Oh yeah, JB Electric as well. Yeah.
So we say, oh yeah, I mean, so I've been here 7 years, and JB's been our electrician every year, and I mean, he gives us a really good bid, and he comes out anytime we need something.
He does.
So we need the temp power, we need temp heat, we need JB's out here all the time, and it's not an extra charge, So JB, Joe, really good, means a lot to us.
He's good to us, that's for sure. Thanks. Deacon Chuck, we're gonna finish up with Deacon Chuck leading us.
Yeah. I'm substituting for Deacon Dean Pulowski, who has a weak excuse of having COVID. But I thank Sharon Stevens for calling for backup of me. And it's kind of special for me because my daughter lives 2 houses down in a Habitat house. And watching that process from beginning to end, opened my eyes a little bit about all the volunteers and all the people involved in this, right down to the person who probably handles the beverages and whatnot. But I know that, I don't know whose idea it was, probably Chuck back in the back there, the hard hats. Everybody had to have a hard hat on whenever they did any work. And my daughter Sarah, as Diona,
Diona, yes.
Diona said, helped out up here. And she started using one of the volunteer hard hats and liked it so much that she went out and got her own. So I don't know if she's done with helping out, but I kind of doubt it. So, but anyhow, the amount of people involved in this is just amazing. And I watched these two houses go up, and I know Sarah was over here helping with that because, you know, I was one of the two people babysitting while she did that. And she never came home, never came home. When you got a 3 and a 5-year-old, you get all the things, you gotta think of things in order to get away from the kids for a little while. So volunteering at Habitat for Humanity was a good one. But what Reverend Chris had started with quoting from the Bible, I have one as well. Matthew 5:18 is my favorite verse in the Bible. Wherever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am among them. And that being Jesus. And it takes dedication by all of you and having Jesus as a whole entity to help guide you is a wonderful thing. And all the things you do, I just thank you for that. And as far as the heat pump is concerned, I saw somebody fanning herself. So it works well. It is a good thing. My daughter says that, I says, it's really cold out today. And she says, oh, what is it?
No.
It's 53 in my garage. So it does work. But thank you for that. And being a deacon in the Catholic Church, I know that Jesus is with us every step of the way. So thanks for that as well. And before we do a blessing on the home, I'd like to bring Diona up with her scissor or whatever to do the ribbon cutting.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll follow up on.
I do want to, just one more thing, because I know I still forgot a bunch of people, but thank you to Stan and the Family Selection Committee and the board so much for everything you do, shared. Just want to say that. Okay, so I should go anywhere?
Well, if you could open your sheets up to the blessing of the home, and then we could all do that together. But I have to use my glasses for it, so. Spirit of God.
Spirit of God,
Be with this family as they make this house, created from boards and nails, into a home. Guide their hearts and minds towards creating a home filled with foundations of love and joy. Let them rest in the confidence of your holy presence in their lives. May the sweat, the laughter, and the labor of all who helped create this house strengthen and support it, as well as the family within it. We are grateful, O Lord, for the ways in which you weave your good into our lives and this community.
speak up.
Well, thank you everybody for coming today. Again, this is a community event and organization, and none of it happens without you and everybody involved. So we're glad you came, glad we could celebrate for Diona, and it's all yours now. So let's give her one more. So we have a cake feed. So come and help us. Stay a bit for some fellowship and cake if you'd like. Water and apple cider. We'll start dishing it out. So thanks for coming.